channel. If you're watching today, you are probably in your mid to late 20s, post-grad, and you've just moved to a new city and you don't really know how to make new friends. First of all, it's really difficult to move to a new city in general because this is the first time that you're really becoming an adult and you don't really have a support system around you. And you're getting your bearings on the city, right? Like, you're learning how to use the public transportation, you're learning where everything is, you have to find your grocery stores, your doctors, your dentists, your hairstylists, your favorite coffee shops. So it takes a while to really get to know the city. And then on top of that, now you have to find new friends. So you have to create your own support system, which takes a while to do. Not only that, but making friends as an adult is really difficult. When you are a kid, it was really easy to make friends because you were constantly surrounded by people your own age and you had things in common with them. You had common goals, common interests, and common enemies. You were in the same class, you were graduating at the same time, you were working on the same homework as everyone else. You probably hated the same people, you were in the same drama, you had the same school rivals. So it was a lot easier to bond with people when you were in school and when you were growing up than it is as an adult, where you're all progressing at different rates, you're making different incomes, you're moving to different cities, you have different life goals and life dreams. Not only that, but in a post-pandemic environment where everything is virtual, it can be extra difficult to socialize and find other people to really connect with. So it definitely takes a lot of putting yourself out there and getting out of your own way in order to make friends in a new city. I was lucky enough to move to Boston in 2021, right after the pandemic, so I experienced all of this. I at first had an office job, however, most people didn't even really go into the office most of the time. So I was just sitting there alone all day, every day. And then I finally was able to work from home, but that doesn't really solve your problem either because you're still isolated. I was lucky enough to make new friends and roommates and meet people online, but it definitely took me a while to find my group and find my people. And I've collected a bunch of tips that have helped me and people I know make friends. So my first tip is to start with the basics. You should really start off with your roommates because, first of all, you're going to spend every day together and it's really easy to bond with them. Plus, not only that, but you can also pick your roommates. You can pick people that you think you might be friends with, and even if you end up deciding that you're not good living partners in the long run, it's still nice to have people you know in the city. So I would start there and try your best to bond with your roommates. It's really easy to strike up a conversation with them. It's easy to ask them to hang out for a movie night. In fact, it would be weird if you didn't do it. That's what I love about starting with your roommates is it's not weird to ask them to hang out. Like, it's actually pretty normal. I think a lot of the times when we're trying to become friends with someone, it's a little awkward to ask them to hang out for the first time. So when you're roommates with someone, it kind of just happens naturally. And the great thing about having roommates is they can also introduce you to other people, or you can explore the city together if they're also new to the city. It's just a great way to get started. Now, if you're a little bit more established in the city and you already have a couple friends, a great way to meet new friends is by meeting them through your already established friendships. So this is a great way to meet people because you already have someone in common, you know you're probably likely going to see them again, and it's a lot easier to bond when there's someone you know that already has that friendship bond with them. It's a lot easier to move past people's walls, and it's also a great way to build a little friend group. So that's also another way. Take advantage of your friends and the friends that they have also made in the city. Now, you're gonna hate this next tip, but it's definitely necessary to try your best to not work from home if you can. I know that it sucks when companies require that you go in to the office. However, you should definitely take advantage of this perk when you're moving to a new city. because a lot of corporate companies in cities have young people your age working from them also. And again, these people are likely to have common interests, right? Because they do similar work to you. You're going to have common goals. You're going to be working towards the same cause for the same company. You're going to have common enemies. You're going to know people, have acquaintances, and be annoyed of the same people that are causing you both issues. So again, there's a lot to connect with through working together. What I love about this is it's also not weird to ask these people to hang out. It's quite normal to ask people to go out for lunch or go to a happy hour. Again, it's not weird to hang out with these people. It's actually very normal, and you're gonna see them every single day. What I know about relationships is it does take a while to build them. So if you're gonna be in the same place at the same time over a period of time, that is how you build relationships with others. My next tip can be viewed as a little cringy, but it definitely works when it needs to. I do recommend using social media and the apps when you need to find new friends. The beautiful thing about this is you know that everyone is there for the same thing and are also open to making new friends and are putting themselves out there just like you. And a lot of the times these people are also transplants, so they're in the same boat. They're just trying to do the same things that you're trying to do. I think the difficult part of meeting new people in real life is that you're not really sure if they're open to making new friends or not. A lot of people are more established in the city, and if they're not naturally an open, outgoing person, it can be difficult for them to find time to fit you into their life, and they're also probably not thinking of you too much. So sometimes like those people aren't as open, and you know that people on social media are just in it for the same thing that you are. Some things that I suggest is going on to Facebook. In Facebook, they have groups for each city, and the groups are called Making Friends in X, Y, and Z city. So each city has one, and you can go and just post about yourself and your interests and a couple pictures of yourself, and a lot of people will comment saying that they're interested in being your friend as well. You can also go on Bumble BFF. This is another great way to build one-on-one friendships with other people. And I think that it's important that if you're going to use Bumble BFF that you take the initiative, because a lot of people on there don't take the initiative. So it's good for you to put yourself out there, try to strike up a conversation, and ask people to hang out. Now, this next way to meet friends is so ideal if you're able to pull it off. It's just chef's kiss, but I highly recommend trying to be friends with people who either live in your apartment building or are already in your neighborhood, because I've seen friends do it before, and it's so much fun living in the same neighborhood as your own friends. It just makes it so much easier to hang out and socialize. It's easy when you come back from the bars at night because you don't really have to worry so much about your friends getting home. You don't have to Uber as much, and also it's just super convenient. Like if you're ever to have a problem, like let's say your shower breaks down, you can just walk down the street and take a shower at your friend's house. So it's super convenient and it's super fun, and you live a happier life. It's also kind of similar to having roommates where they're just around all the time. It's easier to build a relationship with them, but you're not overwhelmed by each other and spending too much time with each other. Another thing that I suggest, which is kind of similar to befriending people in your neighborhood, is to go to the same spots. I think that this works especially well if you already have a couple of friends and you just go to the same bars, the same restaurants, the same coffee shops, because it's a lot easier for you to be happy in your favorite spot with your friends and make other friends. And it's especially fun when you live in a neighborhood and you go to the same spots over and over again, and you build a network of people that you already know, and you already know they're going to be at the spot that you like to hang out at. And it's especially fun when you go to the same spots over and over again, and you know that the people you know are already going to be at the spots that you hang out at. So maybe this isn't the best way to build a best friend, but it's definitely a good way to build acquaintances and a network of people. Now, this last tip is kind of scary, but it's definitely good to just practice and put yourself out there and just talk to random people on the street. I know that this is kind of like a one-off, just shooting your shot kind of a thing. It's not really about making friends, it's about learning to be more social. And it's good to just continuously put yourself out there and talk to more people and just make it a norm, because that's gonna help you make friends when you are in situations where you have more opportunities to make friends. A thing that my friend always does is she always goes up to people and asks to pet their dogs, asks them about their dogs, and strikes up a conversation with people that way. And I think it's a great way to learn to be more outgoing because it's such an easy conversation starter. You don't really have to try that hard to start talking to people and get them to open up. And I've also seen her do this and actually make friends out of it. So sometimes it does work, and I just think you don't really know how you're gonna meet people. You just need to put yourself out there. And sometimes life just happens in serendipitous ways. Overall, the goal is to meet people who you're compatible with, and it doesn't take that much to be compatible with another person. You just have to have similar interests, similar goals, and see that person a repetitive amount of times, enough times to build a relationship with them. By putting yourself in places where it's easy to make friends, you're much more likely to make those friends whether you're introverted or extroverted. However, I do know and understand that it definitely is anxiety producing to make friends. So if you need extra tips on how to overcome your social anxiety disorder to make friends, you can watch my video here. All right, thanks guys, bye.